Param Shanti Bapuji. Welcome, Bapuji. Today's topic is related to a very important one, whether there exists a past life connection between husband and wife.
See, on the topic of previous life connections, we can say that not only this relates to all kinds of relationships, but also it's special since it's the question of past life bond between a married couple. It is said that the relationship between a husband and wife is special since it's not only of the present but connections of previous several lives together. So, today we will discuss about the special relationship between a husband and wife definitely shared in many lives in their previous incarnations. However, at present there is a lot of disorder that has taken place over the ages of relationships like this. Brahma created the first supreme divine male soul in the form of seven Saptarshis. These Saptarshis further created many Param Purush, and therefore many Param Purush or supreme divine angel souls were created, and there started countless creations. Now, these dynasties of souls further became reduced in soul power and become devtas or gods, and further were reduced to their soul power to become human beings. It's to be noted that always the soul which has a male attribute has its original female counterpart in various form and incarnations. For example, Lord Shiva's original Prakriti or supreme divine female consort is goddess Shakti. Similarly, every supreme male soul has a cardinal twin soul called as his Shakti. When these supreme divine male souls were in the subtle world, then they created out of themselves several Shaktis to carry out some type of work on our earth, which were different from different Shaktis or the supreme divine female element of the soul. Thus, many number of divine female souls have been generated to execute some mission on this earth by one single angel soul. So, after millions and billions of years, these Shaktis come in connection somehow with their creator, divine, male counterpart. Since, anyways, Kali Yuga has started, it is indeed the last age on the earth, as well as only very less time is left for all souls. So, the female divine souls are in search of unconsciously for their creator, their other half. Therefore, there are so many female souls for one male soul, and in present day come in connection with each other. This is the reason as well as answer to your question. Why a king has so many queens? Why does a king have so many wives? Because at the beginning of our Brahmand or solar system, these angel souls had generated many Prakritis or Shaktis out of themselves. These Shaktis or female angelic souls were assigned certain tasks to be carried out. Therefore, this is the reason why a male had so many wives. Whilst coming into the cycle of births and deaths, these Shaktis had created plenty number of connections and bonds with so many other souls, and so there were many females outnumbering the male population in the earlier days. It is for the reason in earlier times in the Hindu religion, when a female baby was born, people would give poisoned milk and put the female infant to death. Nowadays, they kill the baby in the womb if they come to know it's of female gender. This mindset was such because of the huge number of females from earlier times. These Shaktis were created in the subtle world to carry out tasks on earth. And as time went by, when these divine female souls came down permanently on earth as human beings, they started to search for their creator divine angel male soul who had created them in the subtle world. Once again, I repeat that the divine female angel souls created by one single male angel soul had also come down on our earth along with his many female souls from the subtle world. So now, these female souls in the modern day would be searching for their creator male soul on this earth. In this process, Some of them managed to establish connection around their original divine male counterpart. On taking many births in this gross physical world, the original male and his numerous female souls do come in close relationships in different birth, and that is why many relationships are getting spoiled in the present day. In one birth, the male soul establishes a relationship with his female created soul, and later in the next birth another one of his female counterpart. These connections may take place due to each one's sankalps or thoughts touching each other, so there forms a loving relationship at the thought level also. One of the chief reasons why there is so much of confusion and disorder in close personal relationships amongst males and females today is due to the generation at the subtle level of so many other female angelic souls by the original divine angel male soul, apart from his main female counterpart, also called as Mool Prakriti. So, this is the reason for the rapid decline in quality of males and female relationships in today's age. Relationship between Purush and Prakriti, that is between what we call today as a husband and wife, has come to a very sad state since the original female soul counterpart is not present in life of the original male soul. Since he has to live in a close relationship with his second or third further created female soul, which he had created earlier, billions and trillions of years ago, the original angel soul undergoes a lot of disharmony and sadness in his present life. I hope you understood my point. This is a very deep matter to be understood.
In the near future, when this issue will be viewed from a spiritual perspective, then slowly there will emerge a deeper understanding. You may have seen that in Islam there is an accepted and established practice of single male having many wives.
A minimum of 4 marriages, but then also there are other illegal affairs that they enter into.
That's a different topic in itself. But what about our Hindu religion where Raja Dashrath had three wives as his queen?
Raja Janak had 10,000 queens.
In some of our scriptures, it has been said that a person named Janak was in that area. So it's an assumption that has been probably written down, but we don't know whether this is a true fact.
However, even though Raja Janak had 10,000 queens, he was also renowned as Raj Rishi, one who, despite being a king, practiced the life of a sage. The main reason that Raja Janak could be at such an evolved state despite his royal responsibilities was because of his soul power, power of purity, and powers acquired due to meditation. Soul being in Bhavatit stage or above the average human emotions. That is why King Janak was famous for being a king and a rishi, that is sage, at the same time. One must also remember that many of the sages had many wives, so it was not a novel thing even in those days. For example, I have heard that one sage had 13 wives, and we have also heard about the moon god Chandradev, who had 27 wives. However, he truly loved only one of his wives, Rohini, out of them all. Further, Daksha Prajapati had 27 daughters, who were the wives of the moon god, including Rohini. But due to Chandradev's affection for Rohini, the other daughters felt ignored, and despite Daksha's warning to Chandradev to treat all his 27 daughters fairly, equally, when he did not heed was finally cursed by Daksha to gradually wither and die. So in the story, one can see the curse on Chandradev affected his wives too. And in this way, they also came into karmic bondage for the wrong conduct of their husband. One can also understand from the above anecdote that if it was the original Prakriti or original female counterpart, then it will be a harmonious relationship between the couple, and marriages with further created female souls will only lead to pain and suffering from both. So, only the original created first female divine soul by the angelic male soul will be able to provide him true joy and happiness. The rest of the relationships take place due to connections and further cord of affection established in various lives with other souls, as in ancient days. For example, a king may have 1,000, 2,000, or even 5,000 wives. In fact, I had watched a program many years ago on television regarding the history of China, wherein it was shown about a Chinese king who had 10,000 queens, say about 2000 years ago. This is a true fact and part of history of China. So, there have been several such kings who have had many wives. Even in Hindu religion, many such instances one may find, and which will be a better one other than the example of King Janak or even about King Dasharatha, who had several queens. This is why the practice of having many wives has arisen, and the same reason in cases of the sages and seers having many wives.
Bapuji, this clearly means that such bonds are created by our karmas.
For example, there was this great rishi called Kashyap Rishi who had two wives, Diti and Aditi, and also had 13 other wives apart from them. Now, the interesting fact is that these sisters, Diti and Aditi, each gave birth to sons who were of demonic and godly category souls, respectively, fathered by the same sage.
Yes, that story or myth does exist by our own self.
No, it's not just a myth or story, but a reality. The kingly sages of those days had lots of spiritual powers in their soul due to several penances and austerities undertaken by them.
That means in those ancient days, the soul was supposed to be of high quality at a high stage.
Yes, the soul was obviously in such a highly evolved stage and had strong spiritual power.
This shows that the souls in those days were not having any tamogun or of low quality, full of desires or greed. Instead, they were of satogun, that is, wise and spiritual in quality. So, due to their highly evolved nature, though they had so many ranis or queens, they were,
Yes, those days there was no question of being in body conscious state.
yes, just as the scriptures talk about Sri Krishna and his numerous queens.
Lord Krishna had 16,108 wives. If you read the Vishnu Puran, it has been written down there. However, no one knows that Krishna had taken 16,108 forms for the sake of his 16,108 wives, and this truth no one is aware about. I came across this truth due to Naradji's anecdote about Sri Krishna when I was once reading about Sri Krishna's life, who I used to like and adore because of his high character and being my most favorite of the Hindu gods. In this instance, Naradji narrated about his experience that when he was visiting Sri Krishna, he found that in each and every palace, Krishna was present with each of the 16,108 wives, and it was at the same time. Since Naradji could not trust his eyes, he decided to travel in his astral body, where within 1 second he would be at one place and the other second he could be at some other place. And in this matter, Naradji was always quick and expert. So, in his subtle body, Naradji observed very carefully and found that, indeed, Sri Krishna had taken 16,108 subtle forms, and so was able to be with each and every one of his queens at the same time. Thus, Krishna's dynasty started with each of the 16,108 queens, giving him 10 sons and one daughter from their marriage. This was how Sri Krishna dynasty was created. In 120th year of his life, Krishna left his mortal body, and it's of utmost importance to know that Sri Krishna was an avatar of the Almighty Authority, as Sri Ram also was an avatar of the Almighty Authority. Sri Krishna's project was to transform the entire earth from negative to totally positive land like paradise. And he had also built the famed Golden Palace in Dwarka with the same intention. However, Sri Krishna could not implement the intended positive transformation on this earth is an unfortunate fact.
Okay, Bapuji, so this finishes my question on the past life bonds shared by husband and wife. Now, Bapuji, kindly tell us about the aspect of seven incarnations that is popularly talked about in relation to the previous lives of spouses.
In Hindu religion, there is a lot of significance and importance attached to the cultural practice of tying the symbolic seven sacred knots during a traditional Hindu wedding. During the solemnization of Hindu weddings, the Brahmin priest who conduct the wedding ritual always bless the couple for happiness and togetherness as husband and wife for the next seven births. In the olden days, it used to be a common practice to bless the newly married to ever be together not only in the present but also in the next seven births. Whenever the newlyweds would touch the feet of the elders for blessings. However, now this is not possible in these present day, and so the blessing of seven births is not prevalent anymore. In fact, the male female human souls have tremendous karmic burdens with not only themselves but also with others, which they have to face. The consequence of heavy karmas of the previous birth enters into the present birth too, and they need to be repaired as soon. Therefore, it is best that one finishes off one's karmas and karmic bondages by becoming Atma Swarup or soul conscious by remembering Paramatma, Supreme Soul, by connecting with the Almighty Authority, by taking power from the powerhouse directly. When we connect with the powerhouse, our soul gets charged with spiritual power. Our casual body gets charged with power. Not only that, our subtle body and physical body also become charged with power that we get from the Almighty Authority, who is the powerhouse of power. Thus, all our bikarmas, scenes get destroyed and the soul become light in nature, destroying its burden of scenes through yoga. Further, the soul enters into the process of becoming karmatit, which is a stage acquired by a soul due to its high level of spirituality and where it does not create any further karma even during its physical existence on earth. Thus, becoming above karmas, eventually, one fine day, the soul will go to the land of the Supreme Almighty Authority called Paramdham.
Okay, Bapuji, thank you for answering all the questions so wonderfully and in depth. Once again, thank you very much. Param Shanti.